President Barack Obama and his family will be leaving Washington, D.C. this Wednesday, with their first stop being Senegal. Analysts say he will be making his most significant personal investment in the continent since taking office. He has set his foot in sub-Saharan Africa only for one day, that is in 2009 as president when he visited Ghana. Professor Maria Nzomo, a former ambassador and the director of the Institute of Diplomacy and International Studies at the University of Nairobi, says Africa is today considered a partner in global affairs and no longer a hopeless continent as it were, hence a region where the U.S. would want to boost its interests.
And of course, our strategic importance, especially this region, in the whole war against terrorism, which is of important concern to the rest of the world, that they have to work with Africa. There is no way out. So from a security and an economic point of view, Africa is very, very important. Africa is being called now the emerging continent, the rising continent. We are no longer being called the hopeless continent.
Professor Peter Kagwanja of the Africa Policy Institute says it's all about competition for investment as the continent juggles between the East and the West.
Africa is now the new frontier of energy in the world. Just about a month or so, Mozambique has struck the largest supply of gas in the world along the Indian Ocean seabed. The second is Tanzania has struck gas.
In the East African region, all eyes will be on Tanzania as it hosts not just the big man, but also a huge delegation of investors and advisors that will be accompanying the first family.
Diplomatically speaking, people always look and they check the country where an American president visits. And especially American investors, they would take that as a signal that that's probably a much better place to invest. And it is a much more predictable environment for investment than would be Kenya. But I still want to emphasize, even investors, they know what Kenya is worth. And the strategic location of Kenya, with not only within East Africa, but the entire Horn of Africa in the Great Lakes region, is very crucial.
Many have been wondering why Kenya is not on President Obama's itinerary, but Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes says it just wasn't the best time for the president to travel to Kenya at this point. An explanation that has opened up speculation, with some linking it to the fact that both Kenya's president and his deputy are facing charges of crimes against humanity. The White House insists that skipping Kenya does not signify downgrading of Washington's relationship with Nairobi and that Kenya retains a special place in the president's heart. Alex Chamwada for Citizen Weekend.